好，欢迎大家回来。那我们再一次欢迎大家，也希望大家新年快乐，大家好。那欢迎大家今天再来参加我们European Study Talk 留学欧洲说明会。那这一次的这个留学欧洲说明会呢，是由我们欧洲在台官方单位联合举办。我们从2022年的9月要一直进行到2023年的2月，整个系列活动将邀请到了超过50多所的这个欧洲知名的高等校院教育校院来进行留学欧洲线上说明会。国家有德国、英国、法国、比利时、荷兰、瑞士、瑞典以及意大利等专业的顶尖欧洲大学，将接力的为台湾学生你的留学计划来指点迷津。学校除了有商管学院、资讯学院，更有著名的理工设计、饭店管理、观光，以及还有医学科系等这个知名的校院加入。他们都要将提供给你最新的教育制度、教育课程，以及还有申请流程，以及甚至像奖学金，以及毕业后在当地工作或创业的这个最新资讯。你一定可以收集到你所需要的这个资讯，还有听到校代以及学长姐的经验分享，都要来帮助你准备你的申请。那我们今天晚上的第2场活动是由比利时布鲁塞尔自由大学来进行那在这个待会活动当中，请大家不要忘记把你的问题打在我们的 Q&A 的栏位当中。那稍微介绍一下这个我们待会的 VUB。那 VUB 呢是拥有这个近200年历史的著名比利时综合性的公立大学，他们在前几年的这个 QS 的全球的这个排名当中非常的好，也将近有前200大的这个大学的名次。那他们学校涵盖了有医学、理工、理工科、人文科系等学科。那 VUB 呢拥有4个校园，1所大学医院，还有将近3000多名4000名的教职员工，将近有2万多名的学生。其中有21%是来自将近150个国家的国际学生。那国际学生呢，都是以英语为学习的跟交流的语言。那比利时呢，当然是这个欧盟创始会员国，欧盟的理事会、还有执委会以及还有欧洲议会，均都在这个布鲁塞尔这个地方。那当然就是欧盟的政治中心，另外还有大西洋公约组织的总部，还有众多的国际性的组织跟跨国公司的总部都在这个布鲁塞尔这个地方。那布鲁塞尔这个地方也非常的漂亮，那气候也非常的属于海洋性气候，所以常住在这里的人口超过了110万，那其中有30%的是外国的居民，当然国际化的程度也相对的是欧洲首冠了。那将近有188年多以来呢，布鲁塞尔自由大学一直是比利时国际化的先驱。该学校的这个2万多名的学生当中，有超过了35%的是外国学生。那 VUB 呢，提供了各种的这个高质量的这个跨学科的研究，为要支持这个英语授课的，不管是大学学士的课程、硕士课程，以及还有博士的课程。那他们的主要的宗旨就是在提供给你相当强大的这个国际认可度的高品质的研究，以及那当然毋庸置疑的，他们提供了非常独特的这个就业职业的机会。那非常多家的这个国际的组织跟公司的总部都在这个地方，所以对于你在这个地方上课，也相对的提供给你了非常广泛的，不管是实习还有未来的这个就业的选择。那他们的实习呢，可以从本科的这个大学学位课程一部分，也可以当做某些课程的替代的选择哦。所以我们赶紧来听听这个学校这个学校比利时布鲁塞尔自由大学的这个独特的课程，以及还有其他相关的资讯的介绍。那待会有任何的问题，请各位将你的问题打在我们的 Q&A 的栏位中，我们就赶紧来听听学校可以让怎么帮助我们部署我们的未来，以及还有准备我们的专业，以及还有强化我们的人脉。那还有当然我们国际学生的这个职涯跟留学之路该怎么样来布局，我们都请校代来帮我们提点，以及还有说明。 Okay, let's welcome Martin and Xiaohong. Okay, now the floor is yours, Martin. Go ahead.
谢谢徐老师 Thank you for the very good introduction. Everyone can hear me. Everyone can see me. I hope. I am Martin.
Yes.
I will explain a bit about the VUB today. I will immediately share my screen. All good. Okay. So I'm going to introduce the VUB to you today. We are a university based in Brussels, established in 1834. And we split up with the ULB in 1969. The VUB is the university that is officially Dutch speaking, but of course we also have a lot of programs offered in English. You can see a few other steps in our history. We're still going strong today. Something about our location, perhaps. The VUB is a very interesting place to study because it's located in Brussels, in the heart of Europe. We have 1.2 million inhabitants in the city. Also a very large amount of international students, over 100,000. Different languages are spoken. It's a very multicultural capital. There's also a lot of business, a lot of politics going on. The EU and the NATO all have their headquarters in this city. There's also a lot of journalists as a result. It's a very good center to study sciences, as a research center. It's also very outstanding. It's very close to Paris, Amsterdam, London, Frankfurt. And so from Brussels, you can go and explore the rest of Europe as well. The image or the motto of the VUB stands for personality, being yourself. We have character. We want everyone to be accepted, a very diverse university. We want to improve critical thinking, to learn to analyze the world by your own standards and by the scientific standards. And of course, we want to give you everything you need to advance your career. We have 7,200 staff. We have a university hospital. And as I already said, a very high amount of international students, 148 different nationalities. Our university exists out of 8 faculties. You can see those here. The Social Sciences and Solvay Business School. This is more the economical side. Science and Bioengineering Sciences, and then Engineering, Psychology and Educational Sciences, Languages and Humanities, Medicine and Pharmacy, Law and Criminology, and Physical Education and Physiotherapy. We also have 4 campuses, and the picture on the right is a background or a blueprint, a map of our main campus in Etterbeek. So if you come to the VUB, this is almost certainly the place where you will study, the Humanities, Sciences and Engineering campus. After a short introduction of the VUB as a university, let's talk a bit about the education, the English taught programs you can choose from. This is the Belgian higher education system, as you can see. We are a university, which means that we offer academic bachelors spread over 3 years, which is different from some other universities that do it in 4 years. In Belgium, you can get a bachelor degree in 3 years. And then after that, you can take a master of 1 or 2 years. And there's also advanced masters and a PhD if you're interested to get even more depth in your field of study. We have 3 bachelor programs, including a new bachelor in linguistics and literary studies since 2002. So that's a very new program. And we also have 29 master programs, 6 advanced master programs, and also a lot of postgraduate certificate programs. In the bar on the right, you can see how the number of English students and programs compares to the total. We actually have, especially in the master program, a lot of English programs you can study. This is a little overview of the programs we offer. I'm not going into much detail. You will be able to see the recording of this PowerPoint later, but there's also a QR code that you can always check if you want more information. And I believe that the PowerPoint will also be sent to you later. So if you want to check in more detail. You can see here the economics, there's quite a few programs. Life sciences, in any faculty, there's at least one English language program that you can choose from. This is the Faculty of Engineering and the Faculty of Science and Bioengineering, with a lot of different programs you can choose from. All of those are very interesting, of course. If you have any questions about a program that you want to take, there are also online info sessions that you can attend. Again, if you follow the QR code, you will get to a page where you can register. You fill in your information and a phone number, and then you can choose an info session on a specific program or a general info session where you can ask questions about the program you are interested in. For example, what background do you need? What documents do you need for an application? What is the content? What are the future perspectives of this program? All of those questions can be answered. And what's more, we also have a system of DigiBuddies. Again, you can enroll yourself or register yourself and then find a student at the VUB to talk to, because we believe that students have a different perspective on the program than the coordinator or professor may have. So if you have questions that you would like to ask students who already studied at the VUB, you can also register here and get more information. Now, let's have a little look at what studying at the VUB costs. Also important to know, of course. All the programs in Belgium, and also those at the VUB, are partially sponsored, subsidized by the Flemish government, meaning that tuition fees are generally quite low for bachelor's, master programs, and PhD programs compared to other countries in the region. We have a few scholarships as well. Those are limited, but they do exist. And most of them are developed for specific programs. So if you are interested in photonics engineering, marine or electricity science and management, or the Tropimundo Master in Biology or the Urban Studies program, you can apply for a specific scholarship. Apart from that, we also have a general scholarship called Mastermind, which is very competitive. But if you're interested, you can always contact us to see if you could be selected or if it's interesting for you to do an application. Then we have a China Scholarship Council and a scholarship from Peru at the Beca Generación that is also available for some students. There's an application deadline that you have to take into account. So if you would like to apply for a scholarship, don't hesitate to contact us so we can help you forward and tell you when you should hand in or submit any documents. What does the tuition fee look like? The tuition fee is calculated on two bases. There is the fixed amount, an amount that you pay for any enrollment that you make. And then there is a variable amount that depends on how many study credits that you take. A full academic year at the VUB is 60 credits. So you have to do 60 times a number to get this variable amount. The tuition fee also depends on the kind of program you enroll for, your nationality. If you're a non-European student, you pay a little bit more than when you are a European student. The number of credits you take, whether you have a scholarship, and if you have a different type of contract. But normally that should be a diploma contract. Again, there's a QR code that will lead you to an overview of all the tuition fees per program. The first track is the general one. Track 1 is for the non-EEA students with any program. And then track 2 are the programs that have a bit of a special arrangement. And you can see also in the columns, the first column with fixed amount says the amount that you have to pay anyway, and then the amount per ECTS in the second column, and then the last column on the right shows you what you pay for 60 credits or a full year program. Be careful because some of the programs are only available in Dutch. Other programs are available in English. And then, of course, it's important to know that some of these programs need or require a preparatory course. For example, if you want to study management and you don't have any background in economics whatsoever, the program will give you a few extra courses that you have to take to complete your background knowledge in order to start the program. Now, something more about the application procedure. How do you apply for a program at the VUB? Intake for 2023, September 2023 is the next academic year. The online applications for that academic year have already started since November 2022. And if you want to come to the VUB next academic year, you can fill in an application online up until the 1st of April 2023, because you're a non-EEA student. So hand in your application before the 31st of March to be sure that it can be processed. Your application doesn't have to be complete. You can always add documents later, but the initial application needs to be made on the 31st of March at the latest. Be careful because there's a few programs that have earlier deadlines, so always check if this deadline is correct. And some programs, especially the engineering programs, they may require a pre-application because there we work together with ULB, our sister university. So you might have to do a different registration as well. We have some other programs that are organized together with other universities in Flanders. So then you might have to check where to apply best. After you make the application, you should count around 10 weeks for the screening to get a positive result and a positive feedback, which means that you can come to the VUB, apply for the visa and continue the registration. For the bachelor program and for the advanced or the master program, the requirements are a bit different, of course. For a bachelor program, you need to have finished a secondary school. For a master program, you need to possess a bachelor degree or get a bachelor degree by the time that you start the master program. For the advanced master programs, you also need a master degree because this is a top-up program. Again, if you scan the QR code, you will find more information. There's also a language requirement in the application procedure. You should have a TOEFL of 79 at least, and or IELTS 6.5 as a minimum. If you have already got a diploma where English was the only language of instruction, this can also count as a proof of your language competences. So it's either a diploma in English or a language test, TOEFL, IELTS, or anything that is equivalent. Of course, and to know that your certificates or proofs of language tests shouldn't be older than 5 years. So you can see the documents you need to make an application. For the bachelor, that is a passport, a high school diploma, a transcript of records, meaning the grades that you already received before, and a proof of language proficiency. For the non-EEA students, you also need to add a motivation letter. In general, some programs don't really require it, but it's best to always add it. For the master program, it's pretty much the same, but then you also need a bachelor degree to supplement in your application, and also reference letters from professors that you've already had contact with. All these documents should be certified translations, so the staff of the VUB can read them, of course. How does the application procedure work in detail? There is an online application tool. If you click on the link here, where you can start an online application, and important is to find the correct program code. And there's a little tab here in the middle where you can have an overview of all the available programs and the codes that they correspond to. This is important because you might have the title and the code, or you might have the title, but it could both be the English or the Dutch program. So the code, application code, helps you to make sure that you're applying for the English program and not for the Dutch-speaking program. If you apply for the wrong one, you will have to make another application afterwards. After submitting or after making this first application, you can upload all the required documents. And after that, the admission office will screen your application. Then a few weeks later, you get the result of the application and you get an offer letter or a conditional letter of acceptance, better, that allows you to apply for the visa to come to Belgium. And once you're in Belgium, you should also verify your diploma. And then you can really enroll and start your courses, so to speak. Here's some screenshots of how to select your program. The second one, step 6, is the document checklist where you can upload your documents. And then, very important, at the end, you have to click on that icon to make sure that you submit your application. Sometimes we have students who do everything fine, but then they forget to submit, and then they miss the deadline without knowing it. When you have finished your deadline, you should also get a confirmation. For every application you make, there will be an application fee of 50 euros. That means if you're doubting between two programs and you want to apply for both of them, you will pay 100 euros instead of 50 euros. Once you make the application, you will get an invitation to pay this application fee. And there will be a reference, a payment reference. Make sure that this reference is completely correct. Otherwise, the system does not recognize that your application fee has been paid and your application may not be screened. The good news here is, even though you pay 50 euros, but when you are accepted into the program, you get those 50 euros back because it is deducted from the tuition fee. So if your tuition fee is 3,600 euros, you pay 50 euros first, and then at the end, you only have to pay 3,550 euros. So the 50 euros of the application fee is deducted from your tuition fee. So in the end, you don't pay anything extra. This is just a measure of the VUB to make sure that we don't get 100 applications per student, so to speak. Okay, that was the technical part about applying. Now let's have a look at what happens next. Once you arrive on the campus, there's a lot of fun stuff to discover. We have a lot of facilities on our campus and in the university. There is some student housing, there's a restaurant, there's cafes, a library, a copy center, a bookshop, a lot of very cozy study spaces and sports infrastructure, computer labs and medical centers. But there's also a lot of services outside of studying. There's a buddy system, there's a study guidance center, but also extracurricular language centers, an info point, our international office, a legal office. There's student jobs that you can apply for. There's internships, a career coach or entrepreneurial support if you would require it. So we offer a lot. We also believe that students should be healthy, apart from learning and being smart. So a swimming pool, there's a basic fit gym, a running track, and multi-sports hall. And you can also buy a sports card, meaning that you can do 28 sports as often as you want. So we offer a lot of extra services. This is a little overview of the language center. There's different ones. You can also learn Chinese, but you already speak Chinese. So there's other languages you can learn as well. And the first semester of Dutch is even for free. There's also language tables if you like to talk to students instead of learning in the classroom. And this is what the campus looks like. Again, if you scan the QR code, you can see the campus from above. Okay, accommodation. If you want to live in Brussels, there is VUB housing on campus, But here we work with a priority list. Some students get the first option to live on campus, and those are usually bachelor students or students that have a very low income or that have less chances. So those students have a priority on the list. If you want to apply, you can also do that. Then you see here the standard rents. All the basic facilities are included in these housings. Most of the students, on the other hand, choose to live in Brussels on the private market. You should count around 390 euros to 480 euros for a furnished student room. If you would prefer a studio, which is a bit more comfortable, a bit larger, you should count an average of 450 to 700 euros. And on the left, you can find a lot of partner organizations that offer a platform where you can look for a place to live. These are other expenses that you should take into account. First one is housing, then food. You should think about 200 to 250 euros per month. There's transportation, the health insurance, which is compulsory in Belgium. You need to close off health insurance. There's medical expenses, the ones that are not refunded. Urgent medical expenses should be covered by your health insurance. There's phone and internet and so forth. So if you have next to the tuition fee around 1,000 euros per month, that should be a minimum that allows you to live, study at the VUB. Students who would like to earn something extra, it's also possible to get a student job. Any student can work up to 475 hours per year. And of course, the Brussels market is quite vivid, so you can apply for a student job at the VUB or around the campus. There's enough work that you can explore. If you graduate at the VUB after spending 1 or 2 years at our university and getting a diploma, we also offer an extra year. This is something the Belgian government does. An extra year you can take to look for a job in Belgium. You can see more information here. You will get 1 year a legal residence permit to look for a job. And there's a few other things that you should take into account if you're looking for a job. For example, the minimum amount of income. You can find more about that on the links provided here. This one is perhaps a bit confusing, but it shows, it's something that you can check later on. It shows the whole map of steps you have to take when applying at the VUB, coming from first application all the way up to arriving in Brussels and arranging the last paperwork before getting settled in. One interesting or one extra thing I should perhaps mention is the blocked account. You can see that in the middle. If you're a non-EEA student and you're applying for the visa, you will have to show to the government that you have enough income for the whole year. You can do that by a blocked account, meaning that you transfer an amount of money to a blocked account, and then every month a part of that money is paid back to you. So this is like having a sort of income that you pay for yourself. This way, the government has the assurance that you won't get in trouble financially while you are in Belgium. The rest you can look at in more detail later. I want to thank you, of course, for your attention already. And if you have any questions already, then you can, of course, ask me and my colleague, Tong Laoshe, anything that you still have in mind. Here, by the way, in the last screen really shows the life in Brussels. There's a lot of nice things to explore, like waffles, French fries, Brussels sprouts. Not everybody likes Brussels sprouts, but the city itself is also very interesting to explore.
Thank you, Martin. Indeed, Brussels is a very, very interesting and very live city to visit and also to study. Even though I haven't been studying over there, but I visited there a couple of times. I like it. I like that the city is very very how to say very young, very light, and then you just feel like it's a very alive city in the Europe.
Yeah.
So student 各位同学在线上同学真的布鲁塞尔以及还有这个 Belgium 比利时真的是值得可以考虑的一个读书的城市，以及还有就是创造你不一样的这个后半的未来的一个城市。好，有个同学只有打了还问题还没有打完是吗？请你继续来打完。好，那 okay, I guess yeah. I'll wait for while the student or everybody is typing their question or thinking their question. I can throw out some question before they do. So Martin, for the student, if they want to study the postgraduate or the master courses in VUB, if the student study in Taiwan, if for example study for humanities subject, and if he or she wants to study maybe like business or even maybe marketing or media communication, can the student apply directly, or are there any courses they need to apply or study before getting to the course, the program?
Yeah. That's an interesting question, of course. It's possible because we have at the VUB a few programs that are really oriented towards students who want to study something in economics or in business, but don't have a business background. I'm thinking of the program in management. This is a program that is really made for students on the master level who don't have any experience in economics or business or finance, but they want to have a basic degree in that field. So any student who is interested in that, there's another program in social media, or the new media in Europe, for example, or digital journalism, which also requires very few background information. If any student is interested in that, the first step, I would say, is to check the admission requirements or to join an info session organized by that program to see if there is any background knowledge that is still required, but it should be very few for the management program, for example. And then after that, you can start an application. You do have to pay the €50, but then part of that application is a complete screening of the documents and the background knowledge you need. And the student administration also gives you a feedback if a document is missing or if a certain program is missing, and then they will advise you to take a certain program at the VUB, for example. These are the preparatory programs. So students who have absolutely no background in economics, but do want to take the management program at VUB, you will have to take a few extra programs to complete your knowledge of the subject. The normal program is 60 ECTS, 60 credits, so a full year. And with the full preparatory program, it is 21 extra credits. So that is a total of 81 instead of 60 credits.
I see. Oh, so no matter the student, if they or she need to take the extra or before actually the university will, that admission will let them know, and then if they need to take extra program or courses before that, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Maybe I can add a little bit information. I will speak Chinese directly. 刚才 Martin 说的这个 management 的这个是唯一的一个不要求相关背景的。那么其他的像工程啊、理工啊这些专业是要求相关背景的。那么还有一些文科的课程，它的要求不是很严格，比如educational sciences， 像教育学呢，凡是文科背景都可以申请。还有一些像 digital media、communication studies， 他对背景的要求也不是很严，但是呢，一定要是文科，就不能是工科，就是这个不能跨。那么还有的学生问，如果我是工科，我可不可以申请 management？这个是可以的，就是 management。但是要注意，如果你本科已经是 management 或者是 economics，你是不被这个 management 的专业录取的，因为它是专门只针对没有相关背景的，就相当于有的学生要转他的专业方向，是这个。所以这个大家注意一下，不是所有的专业都是这样，只有这一个专业是完全不要求。那么其他文科专业部分要求，那么理工科的专业呢，对背景要求就比较高了。
所以在学校的这个网站上面，课程介绍的网站上面都可以看到这个 entry requirement 的详细的资讯吗？
对。
好，太棒了。好，那我们这边有一个问题，就是 the audience is a teacher with working experiences for more than 10 years, and I already have a master degree in Taiwan, and now she is interested in applying for a degree in psychology and education study, but she doesn't not sure how could she make the application, and so should he or he apply for the doctoral degree directly, or she needs to or he needs to apply for the master or the advanced master degree? What's your suggestion?
She can do either. So if she already have a master degree, she can apply directly PhD. The good news is that PhD is zero tuition fee. There's no tuition fee if you are accepted by the PhD. Depends on the professor, so the supervisor. If the supervisor has project to pay, then you could also get scholarship, but it really depends on the professor. So for master, also there's no problem to apply for master, especially you already have a master degree. Master actually here only require bachelor degree. If you already have a master degree, it's of course it's a plus. You will get more chance. But for psychology, we don't have English taught program at master level. PhD is possible. For PhD, all fields are possible as long as you can find a professor who agree to accept you as a PhD student.
We also have in the master level a degree in educational sciences. So that does exist, which is also given at the Faculty of Psychology. Master in educational sciences is definitely possible. You just have to see, Yacheng, what is the purpose of your study? Do you want to learn the basics of the field, which is a master degree? That's where you learn everything about the field to become an educator. If you want to deepen your knowledge and to make new knowledge, to do research, to go even further, and to become an absolute specialist in the field, then a PhD is more interesting, of course. Also, the time investment is different. A master level program is 2 years in educational sciences. A PhD is 4 years. It's also very intensive to do a PhD. It's a lot of work. You have to write papers, to do research. One is studying, the other one is doing more research. So it's 2 different options you have.
True. And also for the PhD program, I guess the student needs to look for and find the director or the professor first. And then and also depends on the English level as well. So 所以同学，如果您的是刚刚就2位校代所解释的，如果 您觉得想要只是基本的话，当然直接硕士课程当然是可以。那如果是 PhD 博士班的话，以您的资格也是可以直接来申请博士班。那我觉得就看您想要着重的部分是在哪里，以及还有关乎于你的英语能力的部分。当然相信学校的这些课程介绍，您都可以直接在学校的这个网站上面可以查到更详细，或者是您可以现在就这一页的这个学校的 email 网址，可以先把它抄下来。如果有更多的问题想要询问的话，也可以跟我们的童老师以及还有 Martin 来询问。Okay, next question I would like to ask is, for the student who is taking the English talk courses, can they apply also take the maybe other language course like the Dutch or the maybe France, because since your university is in the middle of the Europe, so are there any like courses maybe free to offer to the student?
Yeah, indeed. As I said, there's different options. We have 3 different schools that offer language courses, evening language courses. So you don't have to take any credits for such a language course. You enroll, you pay an extra bit of tuition fee for most of them, and then you can attend a language course. You have them in many different options: Spanish, French, Greek, Italian. Almost all the European languages are accessible at VUB. But there are 2 exceptions. At the VUB, the Flemish or the Dutch-speaking university, you can attend, I think it's 1 year or 1 semester of Dutch courses for free. This is something offered for 1 year. It's a course offered by the Flemish government to promote the Dutch language in Belgium and in Brussels.
Wow. But even other language like English, French, German, Italian are very cheap because it's all subsidized by the government. It means that you only pay around €100 per semester. So it's a very low. The fee is very low.
Yeah.
And our partner university also offers a free French language course. Because next to us is the campus of the ULB, the French-speaking university. And because there it's the French part of the government that subsidizes the courses, they offer a free French language course.
Wow.
So you have a lot of options in the
So when we're talking about fee, actually, we didn't show the overview of the tuition fee. The lowest tuition fee is only €1,000 per year, up to €4,000 per year. So depends on which program you choose. Thanks to the subsidies from the government, the range of the fee is from €1,000 to €4,000. So it's a very, it's quite low compared to many other countries.
That's one very, very unique and points that Belgium is offered, compared to other country and also other university, I have to say. Yeah, there is lots of opportunity. So how about for the career advice? Are there any student support or services that the VUB will provide to the student before they graduate?
There is a career center. It's a department, so they offer many courses and workshops. They also offer one-to-one consultation to help students prepare your CV, how to find a job. Good news is that since 2021, Belgian government allow non-EU students to stay extra 1 year after study, to offer extra 1 year to look for a job. So this is very new as from last year, 2 years ago, that offers a student opportunity to extend their visa to look for a job. We know that quite few students, quite some students found a job during this, we call it orientation year. So this is also quite because the government supports the higher education graduates to find a job locally to support. So
that sounds really great. And then there are so many preparation that is there ready for the student, and when they are ready to take it or to accept that or to join, I guess, yeah, this is something very, very looking forward. It's something that maybe in other countries they didn't offer, you know, such a great opportunity for the student. Yeah. So yeah, are there any other maybe message that for the student who would like to apply for this year or next year, and any major message that you would like to mention to the student or audience today?
So most important, the deadline. So the deadline is before 1st of April. So by the 31st of March, you really have to submit the online application. Even you don't have enough materials, for example, you don't have English test yet, you don't have to worry, you submit first. You can always send your other material later, but you cannot miss the deadline, otherwise you're not able to get in the system anymore. So this is the most important. And once you submit application, you will receive an email for application fee. Application fee is 50 euro. It's only possible by bank transfer. Once the application fee is received, the application files will be sent to the faculty for the admission. And then normally it takes about 10 weeks, a student will receive the final results if you're accepted or not. And if you're accepted, the 50 euro application fee will be deducted from the tuition fee. So you only pay tuition fee when you arrive in Belgium, when you enroll. You don't need to pay anything before that.
Wow, okay. Great, sounds great. Martin, any last?
I would say if you still have any doubts or questions about the program or about anything in general, in the first place, you can always contact us. There's a useful email address below. And there's also on the website, you can find the specific information about any of the VUB programs, the content, the kind of courses, the kind of documents required, and so forth. There's also a lot of online sessions. So if you're still hesitating, don't hesitate or don't doubt for a moment that you can use this information to make up your mind. Then, of course, we hope to welcome you at the VUB very soon, if any of you are interested.
Great. Yeah, definitely. I guess tonight, the audience online, they are definitely will think about it and throughout the Chinese New Year, right? How no? Okay. So that's thanks to Martin and also Tong Lao Shi again for the great and full detailed information tonight about the VUB. 好，那我们在线上的朋友，真的比利时在全世界非常闻名而且有名的事情，以及还有工作这些政治中心，还有欧盟的总部，还有一些大企业的总部都在这个比利时以及还有布鲁塞尔这个地区。相对的，这个布鲁塞尔还有比利时的政府也提供了非常良善的这个友善的措施，是提供给我们国际学生。刚刚大家也听到了这个布鲁塞尔自由大学的这个非常多的课程，以及还有非常多的这个优惠的措施，在都需要提供给我们国际学生。我相信大家可以把握住4月1号截止日期之前，赶快将您的这个所有的申请表都能够寄给我们这个 VUB 这边来。好，那我们就是要再谢谢这个今天晚上2位讲者给我们详细的介绍。Okay, before we leave, okay, last question. Okay, now I'm leaving Taipei. Should I open a bank account in an overseas Flemish bank branch in Taipei in advance before I go to Belgium? One last question.
It's not really necessary. You can open a bank account once you arrive in Belgium. All the other payments for the application fee you can do from your Taiwanese bank account. It's only after arriving in Belgium, and this is part of the procedure that we follow, is that you should go to bank to open a Belgian bank account. You can do that beforehand as well. There's a few online alternatives as well, but it's best to open a bank account because this is linked to the health insurance that you have to take in Belgium. So you will need a Belgian bank account at some point, but you don't have to arrange it before going to Belgium necessarily.
Oh, so okay, she got it, or he got it.
Super.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks again
Great.
to both of you and for your great information tonight. And then we hope to see you soon in this year.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hope to see you in Brussels.
Yes, hope to see everybody in Brussels.
Yeah. And in the meanwhile, enjoy the holidays.
Thank you. 新年快乐。
Bye everyone.
Bye
bye. 好，那今天谢谢大家的参与。我们今年1月份过年前的所有的场次都在今天结束。下个月2月份，我们要带给大家更多的这个德国、法国还有瑞士的这个留学欧洲的说明会。那当然2月1号紧接着过完年，即将要先带给大家的就是德国历史最悠久的理工大学，还有法国这个英语授课的学士跟硕士的商业课程的学校的介绍。那还没有报名的同学，或者是你知道你同学还没有参加的，想要参加、想要了解德国、法国的学校的同学，也请你务必帮我们推荐一下，请你的朋友以及还有你一起来报名参加。当然要强化你的专业，以及还有强化你的人脉，还有甚至就是要把你制作成这个不管是欧洲制造、德国制造，或者是法国制造，甚至我们的比利时制造的这个专业，真的有机会现场的同学，如果您的时间以及还有经济是许可的，我都会非常非常的建议，真的有机会一定要去欧洲留个学、出个国，或者是真的去念短期、长期的这个课程。对于你的未来绝对是非常非常不一样，你一定也会建立起属于你自己的生活以及人脉的。好，我们更多的这个欧洲留学大学的申请指南，以及还有校代学长姐的这个帮我们的说明，以及还有及时的解惑，我们下个月2月1号开始就有一系列的，整个2月份都有很多场的说明会，我们希望都能够继续的看到大家。那我们就在此先祝大家新年快乐，恭喜发财，以及还有兔年非常顺利健康。那我们2月1号再见喽，大家新年快乐，然后就是好好的过个年，好好的休息，好好的玩。OK， 大家再见，我们2月1号见了，拜拜。